From the court to the classroom, from the block to the boardroom, this is the Michael Graham Show, where real talk meets real life. Join Michael Graham as he breaks down the big issues: youth development, community programs, housing, jobs, and the challenges that shape us all. Loud, funny, real. The voices of experience from athletes, educators, advocates, and everyday warriors are all right here. This is where community comes to talk. This is the Michael Graham Show.
Well, folks, welcome to the Michael Graham Show. Another episode of good talk from us old folks, ball players who's still around. Tonight we're going to have some special guests for you all. But first, I want to introduce my co-host, my brother, the author of The Other Side of the Hoop, the European Experience, Mr. Bobby Kinzer. Hey, Bob.
What's up, Michael? How you doing?
How you doing, my man?
This is on the bestseller list. Turning it out
it.
on one of the bestseller lists. It's one of the top 100 books in Bowie. Hey, Mike, it's good to see you, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm okay, man. I'm blessed, man. So that's all that matters. I got a chance.
Man, you blessed by nothing but the best, man. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
just
what
remember,
they say.
Don't let the quest for more distract you from the beauty of enough. Hello, yeah. I'm dropping something. You hear that, Mike? That's Big Bob dropping some knowledge. Hey, Mike, we got some. Look, man, we got some guys on here, man. Actually, we're gonna call this the CBA reunion. Is that about a good name for this show today?
Yeah, that's a good name for it.
Yeah. We got some guys, man, that been balling. I mean, they played more than just in the CBA. I just want to start off with it's actually our co-host of today's show, Mr. Michael Morrison, Loyola University of Baltimore.
Yeah, what's up, BK?
The man,
right that time. You got it right that time.
DMV finest.
Thank you. What's up, big homie?
All right.
Thank you, man, for having me back. This again is an honor, man.
No, it's good to have you, Mike. No question. I mean, you're a legend, man.
That's it, baby.
And look, you got a hell of a resume. And we did a show. We still got some more to find out about you, man. I'm looking at your resume. Man. You like a Jamaican. You done had like about 4,000 different jobs. Man.
Hey, that's all we know how to do in the DMV is hustle.
That's it.
Every day I'm hustling.
Yeah.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, yes, out of B-More. That's what they call it. Baltimore, Maryland. Dunbar High School. Fame put on the map by first the baddest jump shooting mug, Skip Honey Dip Wise, mug wearing stack heels and a yellow Superfly coat. But he comes from Dunbar, Baltimore, played for South Carolina University, ladies and gentlemen. The wonderful, incomparable Mr. Oh, he done disappeared on us. He dropped off. Oh, he's back. He's back. Oh, he ain't even in the office. He goes.
TD, where you at, baby?
Hey, TD, these old boys, you got to check. Hope he ain't on the floor. But next up, ladies, and we're going to wait for Terry Dozier to get up, is another gentleman. This is Philadelphia's finest. What they call it? The city of brotherly love and Sicily charm. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Dozier from South Carolina University, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Terry. How you doing, man?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but it sounds like you're on something else. If it's your phone, get off it.
I put my iPad on, so can you see?
You can't do your iPhone and do this too.
Me on my iPad?
No, you can't. You can't be on both. It's going to be an echo.
All right.
Just
Got
Can
all
y'all
that,
hear me?
got all them electronics.
Can y'all hear
This
me
is the
now?
thing about being over 60, you know. Young people,
Can you hear me now?
we
Yes, sir.
hear you from the beginning, but you got to echo. You got to get off of one of those. You either got to be on your phone or your iPad. Choose one or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been patient and waiting in the green room, as we say. This gentleman, one of Philly's finest. Like I said, the city of brotherly love and sisterly charm, St. Joe's University. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Mr. Rodney Blake. How you doing, Rodney?
Hello, good
What's
evening.
up, B?
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good
South
evening, good evening.
West Philly's, well, outside of Southwest Philly's finest.
Right, yeah.
I keep forgetting. You out there.
Known as the Hammer.
Yeah, that was the old days. Yeah,
Some good
Yeah.
times, though, Blake. I have my own championship as a professional athlete with Rodney.
yeah.
What championship was that?
CBA,
Which
Yeah.
which team?
Wichita.
Wichita Falls, Texas.
Oh
man.
my God, I can't believe y'all won Wichita Falls. I think that's like in the center of Texas. Wichita,
Always up at the top. It was always
by the panhandle, right?
And
there.
yup. Yeah.
Wow, Wichita Falls, boy, y'all back then in Wichita Falls, what a novel idea.
those plane rides down to DFW were interesting.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
very.
Look, wasn't that the biggest airport you ever seen at that time, Dallas Fort Worth? Man, I used to get lost in that joint, man.
Yeah, yeah. And our flight always left at gate 1, and we would fly in like gate 100.
Yeah.
So you had to take it.
That's all we on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all ever miss the planes? You ever miss a plane?
I don't think we ever missed one, but it was always a hustle.
Yeah, it was a hustle, and it was something that how the coach had it. Sometimes it filled up, so they only had like 6 seats, 7 seats. So the coach said, "The starting 5, y'all go back."
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I'm laughing too, Mike. I'm laughing. Terry, he's doing home and garden episode. And his ass. Now he got his ass.
Hey, you making it real hard on those old basketball players, bro.
I tell you, man.
I was watching that too, Mike. Hey, Terry, welcome back. Welcome back, Terry.
You making it real hard. We rhyme like we
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you
We hear
now.
you before.
We can see you
So
too.
check this out. We just moved back out to the country where my wife is from. So we back out here in Eastover. And man, I got all kinds of technology, and I was like, God, dog, I can't connect with these guys.
Well, we
How
got
y'all
you
doing,
now.
man?
We're doing all right, man. I'm doing all right, man.
Man, Michael, I ain't seen you since you used to just run rush hour all over South Carolina, man. You just out here just taking advantage of people, man. You up there at DC bringing that DC flavor down here to South Carolina. We ain't been the same since.
Yes, Chocolate City. Well,
Takes me back up here in DC, man.
so Terry, you down? Are you still in? Are you back at? You say Eastover? That's outside of Baltimore, right?
No, that's outside of Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh my God, he's down there in South Kakalaki.
Yeah. It's halfway between Columbia and Sumter.
Right.
Oh, that's where the Great Confederate War was, where they ended the war.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And been down here 40 years, 40 since we came to South Carolina. My brother's still here. We raised families here. And I just completed my 8th year as a school resource officer with the Richland County Sheriff Department.
Oh wow, great.
Yeah.
Wow,
Best thing I've done since not playing basketball. I never saw myself in law enforcement, but I've always been on a mission for working with young people and giving back to the community, because it was a community that raised us out of a single parent home in Baltimore. And so, the old school of the village, it takes a village to raise kids, is not embraced by this generation, but it's needed.
Exactly.
And so it was since the Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd incident that I saw a call to service because we were having a issue with law enforcement, and we said the best way to make a difference is to get inside the uniform. And since being in the uniform, I've fostered a strategic way to connect with our community and intervene in the school setting, and it's been paying dividends as I mentor every day in the school setting.
Thank you for your service. So look, Terry, we're gonna start with you, Terry. We're gonna start with you. You come out of Baltimore, Dunbar High School in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
The famous Dunbar High School. Larry Gibson, Skip Wise, Ernie Graham. Did Ernie Graham? Yeah. Ernie Graham, the Graham brothers. So how was it coming up
Yes,
in
sir.
Baltimore?
The fame, Bob Wade was my coach.
Yes, the famous Bob.
He's still living. God bless him.
Wow.
We spent our first years in high school in Howard County, Maryland, playing for Hammond High School. Won a state championship out there. My late cousin Reggie Lewis, who was the coach, the captain of Boston Celtics, was on that awesome team with Muggsy Bogues, Reggie Williams,
David Wingate.
Still celebrated as one of the best high schools ever. And he through our AAU program, he recruited the Dozier twins to come up here and reload the ammunition in that office over there. And so we came to Dunbar in 84, 83-84 season. And then our senior year, we won a national championship with guys like Kirk Lee, my twin brother, Boobie James, guys like that. And it was a special time to play for a special program that people still to this day talk about, the famed Dunbar High School, more than they talk about my daggone college and professional career.
Right. Hey, Terry, do you still have your iPad on?
Baby, is my iPad on? It's off.
Okay, because I'm getting the echo back from you. Hey, so Rodney Blake.
Yes, sir.
Outside of Philly, right? That's where you grew up. What was it like coming up there? Mount Senior Barnard?
Mount Senior Barnard. It's Catholic high school.
Catholic, okay.
Catholic high school. But I was listening to the, I'm sorry, I don't know his name from who's before us. And I knew Reggie. I played with Reggie with him over to Taiwan, went to the Jones Cup. And I played with Torrance Chisholm. He was the backup for Muggsy.
Yeah, I remember that name. Yeah.
I can't remember the car. I ain't seen him in years. But I went over to just like a tour team with him overseas. Just a tour team, University of Delaware All-Stars.
So was that a high school player?
He went to University of Delaware.
He went to University of Delaware. And it was the University of Delaware kind of an all-star. They just called people up in Philadelphia, and we went overseas. And I played with I thought we used to call him Terrence. But anyway, Terrence played for a couple of years. Yeah, so and I knew Reggie, so I knew a couple of guys from Dunbar. So, but anyway, yeah, I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia. But the thing about it is, it was the Catholic League of Philadelphia. Where we played Roman Catholic.
Oh, I forgot about Roman Catholic. Yeah,
Roman was our rival. I'm sorry.
What's his name? Stevens played at Roman Catholic.
Yeah, Stevens and Dallas Comedies.
Yeah,
that was the biggest name that came up because the other guys we had Stevens. I can't remember where he went to school. And one guy.
You went to like I think Notre Dame or you talking about
oh yeah, Steve, and he was on my team when I went overseas.
Yes,
doing it. Yeah, I ran into him, Stevenson. I can't think of his name right now. Any other time I can think of his first name. So excuse my age.
Yeah, all of us. All of us are there. We all are there.
There was Stevenson and Roman. Yeah, but Dallas Comedies was the biggest. But we didn't see, the thing about it is we didn't like each other at all. So yeah, that's where the rivals. But we were talking about on the court, we did not. There was always some kind of confrontation every time we played those guys, and yeah. So we ended up playing a lot of city schools. We played Ben Franklin High School.
Oh, that's right. That's another one. So where did Gene Banks go?
West Philly. He's older.
Yeah, West Philly.
West Philly was a high school. So the captain, you had boy back in the day, you had the public league and you had the Catholic league.
Right.
Even though it was in the suburb, we played the Philly schools, and we played a lot of the top Philly schools.
Right.
So my junior and senior year, we were second in the city because the first year we lost to Overbrook twice, and my senior year we lost to Franklin twice. Prue Richardson and those guys. So.
Okay. Rodney, you left St. Joe's as one of the greatest shot blockers in NCAA history. What made you elite at timing and the participation of blocking shots?
Well,
how did you do that so well?
It's funny that you asked that, because somebody asked that question before. I don't know. I mean, man. Seriously, it just happened. What I had to do is kind of, the funny thing is, I hold a record. It's not a popular record. My freshman year, I have the most fouls as a freshman in St. Joe's history. I average 4.5 fouls a game. So
they used to call that back in the day. Yeah. You were a great hacker.
Yeah. Well, it was because when I would go shot blocking, I'd go after it. So what the opponents did was learn to fake. So when they faked, I went after it. So that calmed down after my freshman year. But that's how it did. But the answer, it just happened. I mean, I sometimes I think about the old times how it did it. I don't know. It just, I see the ball and went after it and got it.
Wow.
I can't even put it. So it just happened that way. So.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, Mike.
What's that?
You coach at multiple levels. What's the difference between teaching the men's game and the women's game? Because you're with the women's now, right?
Yep. And, it's not as broad or as fast as people would think. The game is still the game. You got 5 people that got to execute together in order to make the game plan work, and you got to make adjustments.
Right.
The thing I love most right now about the women's game is it's not extremely exaggerated. They're not adjusting rules to allow more showmanship or more flair. They're still playing by basketball rules. You're not allowed 4 step backs before you can shoot it. Can't gather 4 steps before you lay it up. And the game is played with a lot more pace. And really, you have to be a high IQ person to play women's basketball. There's some really good women athletes now, really good athletes, but it doesn't dominate the game like it does or like it has done for my man C. He said, "What's up? What's up, C?" It doesn't dominate the game like it does on the men's side. And again, if you look at UCLA this year, and I was fortunate to be out at the Final Four, and you watch South Carolina, you watch the way UConn, they execute. Those teams are the top executing teams in the country. Ole Miss was a team that was extremely disciplined and really executed well.
LSU too. LSU executed.
LSU as well, yeah. They do a really good job. So as a coach, you got to teach those things that we grew up on.
So Mike, quick question, because I coach women for a minute too, but I must say, tell me if you saw this. I saw way more attitude swings because of the women having, I like to put it down to this, might not have been, but I've seen, let me just say, we're on the men's show, that, because they had periods, man. I had women, when I was coaching women, I'm talking about women, not still, I didn't do college, I did actually grown women, like WNBA. And I just saw so many mood swings, and I was finding out it was because of the female issues that they had. You don't see that?
No, that exists, but I'm a father of 3 daughters.
So you know what I'm talking about. Right.
I was in the house with 4 women, so for the last, my oldest daughter is 35. Her and my wife, they sync up, do what they did when they were growing up, and it's just a part of life. But you don't, because I don't understand it, I don't try to explain it away. And I know, or when I'm an assistant coach, so when coach is dealing with them, because she deals with them the way a woman would deal with one.
Got you.
Some girls, have difficult menstrual cycles, and they're cramping and others. The highest majority of ACL and injuries come when a woman's on her cycle. So,
wow,
think about those things. You have to kind of plan ahead, not necessarily adjust alignment, but you watch. You want to make sure they're not getting fatigued. You want to make sure, they're not susceptible to hurt themselves. Terry Daughter was a college basketball player, and Terry's worked with him and his brother both have worked with tons of athletes in this Columbia, South Carolina area. They've been instrumental in developing a program. The Slammers was one of the, Mike, you talking about a well-oiled machine. When I first got down here to South Carolina, man, and I opened up a gym here in town, and Terry and Perry came in there with their boys. It was it's what basketball needs when it comes down to grassroots, because they taught these young men discipline, respect, integrity, and how to play the game the right way. So, all those things kind of go together.
Okay. Let me see. Wow. Hey, sir, question. You live multiple lives, pro athlete, coach, and now law enforcement. What are the common threads that connect all of those chapters together? You bringing all that stuff together. What is the common goal? What is the, you know what I'm saying? Did I say that right?
Young people, man. Young people. If I'm working with young people, I'm not working. It's a mission. Mike knows about this. We spent time over in Australia with a lot of Christian brothers. Rodney Monroe, Everett Stevens,
Adrian Brandt.
Yeah, I mean Adrian Brandt, Mario Donaldson. Man, we were over there, but it started with 5-star basketball camp for me.
Right.
5-star basketball camp was my introduction to real fundamental basketball with the highest talent. Everybody went to 5-star basketball camp. The best coaches were there. They were resident coaches. Rick Pitino was holding down Station 13. The college players would come back as counselors. When you went to 5-star and went back to your home, you felt like you belonged, and you had a certain mindset. So I modeled a lot of my basketball training and camps after 5-star basketball camp first. And then, as Mike would tell you, part of our contract in Australia was to go around and teach skills in the schools. These people weren't even basketball players, but you had to dumb it down a little bit just to teach the fundamental to school-age kids and keep them interested and make it simple. And that's where I kept a lot of my fundamentals intact while I was overseas and breaking the game down to where even the simplest thing can play it. And it's still part of my basketball camps as I run basketball camps for the sheriff department as well during the summer. We got one going on right now. So it was always a connection to what got me out of the streets of Baltimore. It was indoor stuff. It was bowling. I still bowl. It was basketball. It was skating. I was in the clubs mixing my house music. And so, I know y'all DC guys were go-go, but we were jamming house music.
Go is still living. Hey, right quick, there's a comment here, and they giving a shout out to Big Rod. I know what they're talking about there. And he said, and Ice. Who's Ice? Oh, I should have known. I didn't know that they called you Ice, Mike.
That's my
Hey, Rodney.
Hello. Yes, sir.
You played in the Big 5 era, where every game was a war. Okay.
Yes.
What matchup or moments define you as a player? I know you had a lot of them, but what one particular game that really turned things around for you?
Man, that's a tough
When
question.
you said, "I done caught on, I got it." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we had a lot of battles with Temple. Temple was a Big Five school.
Okay, yeah.
My school rival was Villanova, but Temple, when they had Tim Perry, Ramon Rivas, Mark Macon, Nate Blackwell, when they had those guys. Well, it's funny. My sophomore year was probably the one that I guess I was just trying to turn it up, because when you meet those guys, and see, John Chaney's philosophy was very physical. He had a very physical philosophy, and if you down there in the post, I still have some bruises to this day from back when I played against those guys. But my sophomore year, we beat them twice. Now, the funny thing is, my freshman, junior, and senior year, we were successful. But those were the years that, I kind of, rebounding. As I said, my shot blocking, I didn't get it in foul trouble as much because I got a little smarter, more mature. And I think I was second as far as the scoring my sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, I led it at junior and senior year, but I think that when it really kind of defined me, really that towards my sophomore year. Yeah, so my junior year at the beginning, I got hurt, but that's what I think it defined me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and I was also told by a friend now that when we played Roman Catholic back in high school, they would say everybody in the city of Philadelphia was scared to play us. So
what?
There's some tough boys in Philly.
That's how I was at Spingarn.
That was Mark Stevenson.
Mark Stevenson, that's right.
Yes,
Mark. Yeah, but even though those guys are not here to say that, they would probably argue with that. But somebody just said reminded me.
Rodney being nice right now. That's Tom Gormley saying that because one of our teammates was Tommy Lee and played at Roman Catholic. So Loyola was one of those schools we did a lot of recruiting in that Philly, New Jersey area.
Right.
So Tom and Tommy Lee and Tom Gormley were teammates after being rivals in high school. And Tom Gorms used to ride easy about how many times y'all beat the Roman Catholic. That used to be a lot of fun. So his point guard, Mike, his high school point guard was my college point guard for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And Tommy Lee, that guy, he was the first guy I don't know what he had, but he hit me in the chest to keep me from posting. Come down to the post. Every time I came down, he would like forearm me in the chest, forearm me in the back, forearm me in the side. It was just like, it was like a fight just to get to the post. I mean, as soon as they go down to defense, here I come running back. He meet me at the foul line or top of the key. Wham, wham, wham. Yeah. That's how I remember Tommy Lee.
That's one thing about the game now. It's not as I don't think it's as physical as it was back in the day.
But something? Check this out, though. And this for all three of y'all. Even you, Bobby. Okay? Well, one thing about the college game today in the 80s and 90s that today players would never understand. Back in the day in the 80s and 90s, that today's player would never understand how the game goes today. I mean, what is the difference besides NIL? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know one thing, and I'll just pitch in first. One thing, especially, and I think it was college ball too, but definitely the NBA started opening up the middle. And they were like, just posting up in the I guess in like the 90s, man, it was just slowing the game down, and they opened it up. And I think because they opened the game up and try to make it not all about fouls, I think the way they started refereeing the game changed. That's my thought. Because I see guys now dribble all the way to the hoop and nobody touch them. But when I came up, I remember when I played in the Summer Pro League, Mike, out there in Loyola in California, Summer Pro League. And this was the first time I saw it. Every time I was checking my man But when he would cross the lane, somebody was laying a body on me, and I was playing defense. You know, it's like boom, boom. You know, and I was like just then, I was just 205, man. I'm 6'6". And I was like, oh, this is some physical stuff. And I don't think they do that anymore. But that's my take. Somebody on
Right. Well, Bobby, Rodney, I'm gonna put it like this. I don't think me and you could play the game today because we were physical. You know what I'm saying? And they chicky tack foul. I mean, I don't even really watch it no more, to be honest with you.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you why I couldn't play today. Because there was stuff that used to take place in the trenches, and if the ref didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Exactly.
Now they review everything and they get you on the back end. I told my wife, I said, "Babe, I couldn't play today because there was some stuff you could do inside the trenches, and you knew it was coming." Just like you saying, Bobby, when you run across that lane, you knew there were going to be some checks with them forearms, so you ain't coming there all lollygagging. But the biggest thing that I said, because I asked a referee about the referee, you know, I'm watching. I actually cover high school games, and I watch the games. And I said, what are y'all being told as referees how to ref the game? And they say they are actually graded on how to free the game up because defense ain't sexy. You know, it was back in the day when the New York Knicks were the beast of the East and they were doing the Jordan rules and stuff like that. It was the best basketball, but it wasn't sexy because the scores were low and it was a lot of physical play.
Right.
But the biggest thing that I see that's different, and it really is something that I thought about how I play because I was like an inside-outside player, so you can take advantage of certain things, is the fact that they don't know how to play through contact. Now, they're superior athletes. The game is a lot faster, a lot more skilled. I thought about how I had an advantage. I was like a three straight years the defensive player of the year in the NBL over in Australia. 3 straight years. Nobody had done it 3 straight years. And it was because at 6'9", with my length, I could guard the perimeter while defend the rim. And so it was truly a two-way at that time, but it was like everybody knocked my size because I wasn't a big, thick guy. But I could bang with you, but I also could stay with you. My point is, we played through contact. Come on, man. It was you always was taught get and ones. Don't look for fouls.
That's it.
Now everybody's looking at the referee and they doing this little twirl thing, like look back at the.
That's it.
And you find this stuff that, hey man, if the ref ain't see it, why you asking for it? Right. So that's the biggest difference is they looking for fouls and they don't play through contact. And if they don't get the call, they whine about it. And I can't stand watching that. Because I'm all like, man up, dude, get your butt up there and play and go get it on the other end.
And that was the too, Turd. Like you say, the stuff used to get away. They now have 3 referees.
But they've always had 3. But they just
not my day.
Oh, my bad.
They got the 4th one, and that's the one that's looking at the camera.
Yeah, well, like Terry said, big guys would be like, "Hey, get in the weight room, young fella, get your weight up." But the thing I miss is players used to be able to create tempo and stop runs without it being a flagrant foul. Similar guards, we could hold, we could bump you coming off screens, we could hand check, and we could control you. If you couldn't use your left hand, we were locking that right hand off. You wasn't getting back to it. But you can't put your hand on the dribbler now for more than 1.1 seconds.
Right.
So you can touch and get it off. You can't hold them. I broke these 2 fingers because Joe Dumas knocked my hand off his hips in preseason. But the inability as a player, like Steph Curry, knocking down 4 or 5 straight threes. Come on, man. He's going to take a hard foul on the elbow.
So stop all that.
Smacked in the head or something. He's going for the ball. And he's going to think about it the next time he get ready to shoot, where now you do something like that, immediately it's going to be, hey, let's go to review. Right. That was intentionally hit him above the shoulders. Man, I just smacked the man in the head. It ain't going to kill him. He ain't going to have a concussion.
Mike, it was all intentional. Don't tell me it's an intentional foul. I know a problem. We were told don't let him get the ball up. Don't let him get him up to the rim. Don't give him an and one. What do you mean? It was intentional.
Rodney. Girl Prue said, "What's up?"
Oh, Daryl
Daryl
Prue.
Oh, yeah, Al Prue, yeah.
He just said, "What's up?" And then let me ask you this, by the way. When you look back on your 12-year pro career overseas, what city or team changed your life the most?
Ooh, good question.
Well, I still like the Wichita Falls. I mean, it's kind of a different thing though. But I mean, the Wichita Falls when we won the CBA, even though that was a weird year because a lot of roles changed from going from the bench to going to starting to. But it was like once everything locked in, it was like a very good time. Playing in Europe. I guess my favorite place might have been I was in Belgium for 2 years. I played with two guys that played named Carlos Clark, who played for the Celtics for 1 or 2 years,
I
and
remember him.
Vince Taylor. Vince Taylor, we was the Knicks.
Oh,
Yeah,
my man Vince.
yeah, Vince. I'm still in contact with him. He's down in Florida, but yeah, and that was it. So about Wichita Falls, really, I think that was really a gel to actually get my game better. How to mentally prepare myself on what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to, you just don't show up. You're supposed to train. You're supposed to shoot. Don't just show up at the game, just to play. It doesn't work like that. Well, everyone here knows that. But the one point I just want to add in real quick to add on everybody the different NBA. I think that because I played over in Europe, that I think that all the NBA right now is a Euro League.
Yes.
Because over in Europe, that's it. You can't touch. You got to play that passive defense, drunk to the hole, throw it to the three, and that's exactly what it is. Flopping is just ridiculous. But over in Europe, I got elbowed in the face, and the guy flopped, and I got a foul called on me.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that got elbowed in the face.
Yeah.
And my hands were up. So I mean, but that's how that works. But
last year the first 5 players in the NBA were from Europe. Drafted.
Yeah.
To your point, Rodney.
Yeah. It's a Euro League now, and now Jokic and all these European players. This is like heaven to them.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing in the past. They wasn't getting that forearm. They weren't getting hit that low, stepping on their foot, giving a cheap shot when the ref wasn't looking. If a guy was on the ground, nobody knew it, and the guy gets to get up. Now it's a foul.
I remember you pull your shorts down and stuff.
Yeah, pull your shorts down, grab you on it, everything. You know how the guys down there, the poster guys used to do all kinds of stuff down there. I ain't do all of that, but they do.
Yeah, right, Rodney. Okay, yeah, right.
I was more of an upper waist up type of guy. But I'm talking about these guys are doing stuff waist down.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dirty business. Yeah, so, but that was, it was good, But I think Wichita Falls was really for me to mentally, this is how I need to, since I'm doing this. This is how I need to prepare myself to be better.
Hey Terry, did you play overseas?
I did. I played 11 of my years overseas.
Where?
I started out in Australia. I played 4 years there. Crowning moment for me was being the MVP of the All-Star game. And this happened because I've always played in All-Star games and had stats that would warrant me to have MVP, but I had a wrong motivation for it. I wanted to be MVP. I wanted to be the best player, and that was my reason for being out there. But the All-Star MVP of Australia came 2 weeks after I gave my life to the Lord. I surrendered my life to the Lord while I was in Australia. And I said,
man.
I said, God, I'm yours.
Stuff happens, man. Stuff happens, man.
God, I'm yours. And for the first time ever, I started playing for a different reason. And it was a week before the All-Star game. And instead of wanting to be the best player and the MVP, I was like, Lord, just let me glorify you. And I wasn't even in church yet. but I just knew I wanted to represent them. And I came off the bench. I was already known as the best defensive player in the league, but I had an anointing on my offensive game too. And I ended up being MVP at the All-Star game, and it's nationally televised. And here I am in my crowning moment, the proudest moment of my life in a professional. And they put that microphone in my face and they say, Terry, you usually being the best defensive player, but you had an offensive game, you were doing this. And this is the first thing I said in my proudest moment. I said, first of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me a chance to play the game. That was the first thing out of my mouth.
Wow.
National TV. And then after that, I started bragging on how I played, right?
Wow. So Terry, this is saying they said Dean Smith is the only person that held Michael Jordan under 20. So you telling me Jesus Christ held you under 20?
No, actually, Jesus Christ anointed my game to where I could score more.
You score more. My bad.
But here, look. I want to get to this point. I've always wanted to be the best player to get the praises of men, right? Okay. And it always falls short. And I always feel like I was cheated. But when I did this one and I gave God the glory, let me tell you, because Mike will know about this. Part of my contract was to play, and another part of my contract was to promote the game. Okay, whether you did camps or you did appearances. After that acknowledgement of my faith on national TV, until I left Australia, I was in a different church every Sunday, giving a testimony as a promotional of basketball. So I was able to kill two things at once: promote Jesus while promoting the game, and I was getting paid to do it. Wow. So I learned then it was so fun to promote the Lord in everything I did from that day on, and it's been 35 years saved. And I can tell you, I know what my bread is buttered on. Everything is through the service of the Lord. And I don't feel like I work a day in my life when I do it.
Well, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. To your point, people don't know this, but Jesus Christ had a hell of a hook shot.
So I want to hear the rest of this one.
I ain't lying.
Tell me the hook on that one.
Hey, Mike, you gotta get a hold of these old dudes telling these bad jokes, man.
Right
in front of the camera.
Right.
But anyway,
are you saying that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a Christian?
Yeah, no, he was. That was a hook shot for the Lord. Yeah.
to keep this thing rolling in a direction, I would say, like Terry, I think my best experience overseas was definitely Australia, and I was only there for a year. But again, like Terry said, man, it was like paradise on earth. It was like literally going to a place,
like a resort.
But it was a place where we were celebrated but not idolized. We had jobs to do. It was like, we would go around to the different provinces. They gave us cars to drive, but we had a responsibility in the community. And that responsibility was to present yourself to this team as well. And there were so many believers over there. I mean, our gym was used as a church every Saturday and Sunday night when we weren't playing. So I got to play drums for the church. I got to praise in the worship choir. I watched Adrian give his life to the Lord over there and get baptized.
Adrian Branch?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Listen, it was like a revival for us. And I left there. I did another 8 years, 3 in the Philippines, 2 in Venezuela, then the other 4 over in Europe. But it was nothing like it, man. It was nothing like Australia.
Where in Venezuela?
I was in Port La Cruz 2 seasons. Me and
I was in Medicaya.
Yeah.
So real quick, the top place A and B was Japan. When I went to Japan, I was like, man, why wasn't I over here earlier and longer?
Wow.
Because they paid the best, and I had to share time with another American, and I got paid better per minute
Right.
than any other place I've been. And they so team oriented. They travel first class. They're light. They love basketball. And the Japanese players, though they weren't always the biggest players, they had high basketball IQ, and they had fun playing the game as a team. And I was always a team player, so I enjoyed that. And I say that, so I spent 4 years in Australia. I spent 1 year in Israel, 4 years in Japan, 2 seasons in Italy, Cyprus, England, and
Where did you play in England?
excuse me.
Where did you play in England?
In, Crystal Palace up there with
I played in him. I played
with the London Towers.
Yeah, you know Kevin Cadle. You know that
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
That was my roommate at Penn State, and he was my coach in Scotland. I
Okay.
played 2 years in Hemel Hempstead.
Okay, yeah. That was on the tail end, man. You know when you at the end, when you spend one season with 4 different teams in 4 different countries. I knew I was on my way out because I didn't even care. I was wanting to be home with my 3 daughters like Mike. I had 3 daughters, and I'm a girl dad. I was a girl dad before Kobe became one. And, you know, God taught me something. He said, I'm going to give you a way to love 4 women at the same time and not sin.
What's your name? Solomon? So Rodney, where did you play? What overseas?
I played 2 years in Belgium, 2 years in Germany, 1 year in Cyprus. If I was going to ask where did he play in Cyprus, I played for Abuel in Cyprus.
Where did you play in Germany?
Bayreuth and Cologne for that team.
Cologne. Yeah, you ever played Leverkusen?
Yeah.
Mike, you know about Leverkusen too?
I was in Oldenburg.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but at Leverkusen, we had the financial issues. In 3 years, I ended up in Switzerland. That was in 1 year in Finland. That's where my daughter was born. So yeah, but I've been bouncing around. But at last, to finish it out, 3 years in Switzerland. You know, on your way out, and I finished. I only played a couple of minutes. I went down to Argentina and tried that, but it was just time for me to just give it up. You know, when the ball is coming to you, you can't see it fast, and the guys are dumping. The basket is a little bit higher, and I use my body a lot when you're setting screens, but then those screens started to hurt. You know, before I didn't feel them, but then you started, and you fall down.
You started feeling the screens.
Yeah, I started feeling the screens, and I'm hitting the ground, and then it's hard to get up. You know, so
I need to feel it.
Yeah.
So everybody else, because I always talk about, so like Mike talked at the top of I did a book, and it's not too many people, and that's why I wrote the book about European basketball, because there's many books on the NBA and stuff like that, but there's very few books, and y'all need to think about this, especially black men playing overseas, man. I mean, it's such a story to be told, man, because so many players that played in Europe, and people don't even know about it. You know, and I knew guys that had like thousands of people following them, and they come back home and they just the average Joe on the street, and a lot of guys wasn't able to handle that. But I like to start because Rodney said it, Mike, and then Terry. How did you know when it was time to give it up the game? You go first, Mike.
It was
Graham.
Yeah,
Mike, and then Terry, then you. Yeah.
Oh, you talking me?
No. Mike will go first. Mike Morrison go first.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, it was the exact same reason, man. I had been away for a long time, and I had 2 young kids that weren't seeing their father, and I enjoyed playing. But the good thing was I wasn't injured. I didn't get cut. I had a contract on the table. I could have went back. I just made the decision to choose my family over basketball. It was one of them things that it really wasn't that tough. I had enough. I was 34 years old. I was like still healthy. I can still walk. I ain't limping. I was 32. I'm sorry. I was 32 years old. I was like, you know, that was the time to go get started doing something else. I hadn't ran through all my money. I had saved a little bit. So,
oh my God, it's happening.
It worried too much for at least a year or two. But, you know, I really wanted to be a girl. I wanted to be at home with my kids. I wanted to be a family. So I came home.
So, Mike Graham, what made you give it up?
Huh?
What made you give it up?
Well, it didn't take me long. After my little stint at CBA, then I went to where'd I go to? I went to Lisbon, Portugal, Puerto Rico, and Monterrey, Mexico, and Caracas, Venezuela, all within like maybe a 4 or 5 year frame. And then that was it. I miss home too much. You know, and I didn't like the food over there. I wasn't used to different things and getting out of DC.
What about you, Terry? What made you finally do it, Terry?
Family, brother. When my children were in Australia and Israel, and it was like trying to pay for college for them to go to school. And so education is always important. So my wife and children had to start staying stateside so they can go to school. And I'm family first. I didn't care about the money, and I didn't have it set up. I didn't stay in the league long enough to get a pension. There was Australia had this superannuation that I ain't never get a hold of, and something that I want to tell people. You know, I spent my first 12 years out of college just enjoying the sport because I wasn't setting up for the future. I was enjoying the sport. There was no pension plan for that. I don't have an NBA pension, and so you start looking back and saying, man, if you really was educated more about what you should be planning for in the future, and that is providing for your family when you physically can't do what you're doing anymore. That's something that people don't teach us. So I say
Bobby, that's you, Bobby. That's you.
I say that to say this needs to be put out there because enjoy the sport, but know what was waiting on you. Because Mike said, hey, he is saved. Well, my family didn't come from a family of savers because my parents weren't educated. You know, my mom had to drop out because she was a teenage parent of twins. You know, she had twins at 16. My dad was just 2 years older. So education was a priority, but they didn't have it. I say all that to say, when my children was home and I was playing ball, I already knew that my passion for the game was starting to fade because I was thinking about home than I was thinking about getting ready for a game.
Right.
And then when you start getting to a point where people you used to dominate in your sleep, and now they out there talking trash and you couldn't respond to it.
Right.
That helped me move a little faster.
That'll mess with your ego.
One thing you ain't gonna do is talk to a Baltimore person and not get nothing back. And when I couldn't get nothing back,
it's time to go.
It was time to get out the game because somebody was gonna get something one way or another. I was gonna have to stop being a dirty player because I couldn't do nothing.
Hey, Terry, you slipped something by a bunch of people here because I'm in finance, right? Y'all didn't hear Terry said he didn't have a superannuation. Y'all, I bet y'all don't even know what that is. That's some old school stuff right there. But he threw that on us, right? You know, nothing but a pension, but that's pretty good that you threw that. Hey, Rodney, tell me something, man.
Yes, sir.
What was your transition like from ball into what we used to call back in the day, back into the world?
Oh man, yeah, Lord, that transition is something. It was something else. A friend of mine, Darren Queenan, he was on my team. We talked about that. When I just said I'm done, I had my college degree, and my college degree was 12 years old, and it was in marketing, the food marketing in my university. And it's about sales. I am not a salesman. I am not a salesman. I went out there over here. I was going there. I did so many interviews. I knew how to interview. That's how many interviews I did. I did interview here. My first one was a disaster of hitting that pavement, getting dressed up to go this place, that place, and not really finding out what I wanted to do. That transition is no joke.
Yes, you're right.
I thank goodness that I found out my passion what I love. And I'm a teacher, and I've been teaching for this is 25 years. But this is
What do you teach?
I'm really right. Math, middle years math is my specialty.
Whoa.
Right now, I'm doing I'm special ed K to 12. That's my certification, and that's really when you're doing that, you're doing to support the students, to write IEPs for them, to support them, to try. Well, it's tricky now, but the main idea is to try to build their weaknesses. There's so many. It's such a big umbrella with that. But that transition is
it's
joke.
real. And y'all know a bunch of guys too, y'all, that didn't make it.
Yeah, and I called in all the people I knew because what I wanted to do was natural was to go into coaching.
Right.
And I wanted to go into college coaching. So I called people I knew in Indiana, Virginia, right around here in Philadelphia. Well, they were saying, now I just finished traveling all around for 13 years. And the first thing they told me was about networking. And they said, well, if I had to network, I would have to go up to Connecticut and drive up there and pay for a hotel and then go around and network. And I would go from there to there. And I was like, I just traveled to myself. I just traveled for 13 years. I had my wife. I had my daughter. I was like, no. So I was around here searching around, trying to find what I wanted to do. And my godfather told me to go to the school at Glen Mills. It was a reform school just to find out what I wanted to do. And that's in there I found out what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a teacher, help a student with math. And I said, that's when I found out what I wanted to do. And then I went that direction.
Mike Morrison, how was that transition for you, Mike Morrison?
It was difficult. It was very difficult. And even though my motive for transition was my family, I still was lost as a person. Born, a follower, a believer of Christ, but still my identity was stuck in who I was as an athlete. I taught for 20 years as a substitute teacher, as a credit recovery director or manager. I've done ISS. I've done graduation coaching, and just trying to find my niche in life. My degree was in communication and journalism, and I didn't want to be on TV. I didn't want to talk about basketball, but I love basketball. I love coaching. I love teaching it, but I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to be that guy tearing down somebody for a mistake they made to make a name for myself. This is a fraternity, man. This is a brotherhood where if Terry had a bad night or he got caught doing something, I don't want to get on the TV and talk about him because that man might be going through something. And the only way I'm gonna make money is down Terry. I ain't doing it. I can't do it. So while I was in Australia, I had a radio show. When I came to South Carolina, I was on a sports talk show for 7 years. And I enjoyed the banter of sports, but that just wasn't my thing. I love these kids, man. I love working with them. I love teaching.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Which led me to the Gap Year Unveil Foundation that we just started last September, where we help athletes make the transition away from sports, whether they're middle school, high school. Right now, we're catering towards college and professional athletes, but just giving them a support group that can help them make that transition. And Bob, you're going to be a big part of that once we get these things rolling. We start doing these listening tours, but we want to give young people an understanding that what you do is not who you are, and just think about the people we grew up with that have destroyed themselves because they had no identity outside of the game. They had no sense of belonging. Everything was wrapped up into how they perform. Can I impress you with what I can do? Again, Terry, I can't take this guy off the dribble no more, so I must not be any good. That's not true. You were good from the beginning. You're going to be good when you're gone. This is just over. And it's not a dead end. It's not an end of the life or end of the road. It's just a chapter, man. You're going to turn that page and start writing another. Like Hammer, I'm so impressed, man, because I didn't know. Hammer's an interesting guy. He was the guy on road trips who was always reading something, always inquisitive, asking questions. Wow. And it fits him to be a teacher, especially in the culture that we are seeing now in our school systems. You ain't going to mess with Rodney.
And plus, he's talking about math.
Yeah.
Math. Do you know that's one?
But again, for again, a black man to be teaching math, having his background, is like, man, that's like 2 crowns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had the pleasure of working with Terry in his school when they first opened the school, Westwood. He brought me down there to speak to the school to see his presence in that school and the difference that it makes. It's all about being visible. It's all about being able to let these kids see, touch, feel, and experience. Something that's really near and dear to my heart is discipleship. It ain't what we see every day in church. It's what you see every day in a person.
Amen.
Terry and Rodney are spending time. Michael, you're doing the same thing. Bob, you're spending time with people. You're discipling one way or the other.
Yeah.
But for those that believe like we believe, you disciple them to make better decisions. Not to be perfect, to try, but understand something. I've made these mistakes. I've done the things you've done. I'm not going to lecture. I'm going to sit here and walk you. I've seen this, man. I've seen Terry, man, at the banquet go aside and talk to this kid that was having a struggle. I've sat in his office. He was like, Mike, I'll be back. He had to go out and talk to this little girl and her sister about something they were going through. So it wasn't the job. It was the need that was there. Right. And too often, guys that look like us get kicked out of the school because we have such an influence that it kind of disrupts.
Mike, you give me chills just hearing you talk, man, because that when you talk about Westwood, it was a brand new school. Castle in the Woods had a reputation called West Hood because it was politically, strategically assigned for kids from the hood to go to this particular school. Although it was new, it was the people they were sending there that called it West Hood. And it was, man, because that's gerrymandering all over the place. You know,
so where was it? In Columbia?
No, Northeast Columbia. Yes, out there in the Blythewood area.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
It's changed a lot. But to Mike's point, and it kind of segues to if you were going to ask me what was the
you next. Yes.
I thought I was going to go into coaching also, Rodney. And when I try to use my connections, because Columbia is a network place, it's who you know around here. And when I try to coach, I'm thinking, man, I didn't play professional basketball. I was one of the top college players. That's a given you're gonna coach, right? And before it gets out there that there's a coaching vacancy, somebody already owed 20 people favors, so you got a shot at it. Right?
Yeah.
So I went into academic support. That's how I got in there. It was doing my research that I ain't see no former basketball players on staff. And I said, hey, look, I see you got these people, but you ain't got no former basketball player. What about a basketball player? So they put me in academic support, and that's where I learned that when we are special athletes trying to get into, they want to use our talent to make money off of us, obviously, but we don't qualify academically for these type of schools. So how do we get in there? Special admission. So when you get special admissions into these schools, they have to support you so you can stay eligible. So I was now behind the scenes looking at people who are underprepared for college, although they were superior athletes. And we threw the kitchen sink at them to keep them eligible. I was like, well, they come underprepared. That means they're not prepared before they get there. Let's get them early. And that's when I started going into the school system. I don't have an education background, but I mentor. And so I told them I mentor, but I also knew that they had some special things like Mike was talking about. They had assistance in discipline, hall monitor, ISS, those type of things. I came in as a college information specialist because of what I did at USC, but then they said, okay, I saw a problem in the hallways. My people acting up. IEPs and 504s, and they had excuses because they gave them the diagnosis of having problems that make them get away with murder almost.
Yeah. Correct.
I know how to get them right. Get me in the hallway, and I'll tighten them butts up like they used to tighten us up. Wow. And that's why I became a admin monitor, which is a hall monitor. I say all that to say, the transition was hard because we think we're going to do something that ain't true. And that is be celebrated as athletes in the regular world.
Correct.
So now I don't even talk about basketball until I get on something like this. I'm in uniform, and the kids be like, "Man, why you ain't play ball?" I say, "Why you think I ain't play?" Because I'm in uniform. They can't associate a professional person, teacher, police officer, doctor, as being an athlete. So all I tell them is, Google me, right? All I say is
They know
Google.
that. They know that.
I don't brag and boast because the Bible taught me my humility. But when they Google me, they come back with an appreciation because they like, you did this, you did that, and now I got access. So I use them both, right?
Yes.
All that to say, because we don't know who we are outside of what we do, to Mike's point, we think that, okay, now that I'm no longer a professional athlete, I'm done. No, it's season to season. And I look since turning 60, it's just another season. And once you function in your season, you can really thrive in it. And then the consistency has always been in the Moses of my community. And I say this, can you be the Moses of your community? What is it that the Moses is in you? There's people who are enslaved through their situation. They're in bondage. Who's going to deliver them from the ignorance that has begotten them? The only one that's going to deliver you is one of your own. Moses was a Hebrew, but he was being trained in a system that was oppressing his people. The only way you can help your people is to understand the system that is oppressing them.
Yes.
So Moses, being raised as an Egyptian, saw the system from inside.
System. Exactly.
The only way you can deliver your people from a system is to get in the system. I'm in all these systems, not only in education, but in law enforcement, in the area of ministry. Every system that involves our people, we now have to get inside to infiltrate it so that we can now build from the inside out.
So Terry, I teach financial education. One of the biggest things that we teach is, because I used to teach people about being responsible, individually responsible for your situation. But when I found out and did studies and found out it's not just about you being responsible, but you got to understand that there's a system out there that is actually created to be against you. And back to your point, you need to understand the system. I tell a lot of guys that used to play ball, not play ball. When I started working in the financial world, people were coming in, complaining, to the boss, complaining to me. And I'm like, look, don't show up at a basketball game with a hockey mask and a hockey stick. Come on, put me in the game. You got to know the game. In other words, the system. I want to pivot right quick because we're getting late, but there's another transition, a major transition I want y'all to share with me. I just read, I was Earl of Pearl. I'm 6'6". I came up as a point guard, right, in the 70s, very red before Magic. So one of my favorite players was Earl of Pearl Monroe. I just read his book. And one of the major things that stood out about Earl of Pearl Monroe's book was Earl of Pearl intentionally did not get married until after he played pro ball because, and y'all know, the pressure was for guys who was married playing pro ball and dealing with the women issues. So my question to open up to start that transition. How did you make that transition from ball to marriage?
So who wants to answer that one first?
I'll start it off because I failed miserably.
That's a big one. That might be bigger than ball.
I failed miserably. Thank God for a third chance. Put it that way. Thank God for a third chance because I failed. I failed miserably. And just being transparent because I didn't understand me. I ain't putting it on nobody. Ain't nobody else's problem out there, BK. It was my fault. I was undisciplined off the floor, and I was unfocused on what my overall goals were. And I was foolish enough to think that it was going to last forever. It was short-lived, and 13 years being a professional athlete, and then you got the rest of your life to deal with the choices that that you made. Fortunately enough, I was extended grace to reconcile my relationships with my oldest child while developing relationships with my younger children. But yeah, that transition has never been easy. And marriage is one of those great mysteries that the Bible talks about. It's something we ain't gonna figure out fully till we
still trying to figure it out.
You know, it's the reason why God said ain't gonna be no marriage in heaven. You know that, right?
Right.
That's my transition.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Rodney?
Well, I'm totally different with that. I got married when I signed with Germany at the age of 22. I'm still married to my wonderful wife this very day. She just left the room. We have a daughter. She was born over in. She was the first person I met. Mike know her from way back. She was the first person I met at St. Joe's, but you know we weren't. That was being somebody else at the time. And we ended up once in Lebanon. Now I got married, and I know what you mean. I'll tell you what my strategy was. Because on some of these teams, some of the guys in CBA teams were, it was something else. What I did after the game, get something to eat, went to my room.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what I went. And I remember the place up in Wisconsin, and it was Wichita Falls, that there seemed to be a lot of, let's say, the fairer sex up there and played us. And I came in, and they were a lot up there. And a lot of guys were talking and everything. So I have my food. I walked past them. I went into my room and stayed in my room.
Yeah.
Because I already said to myself, I've seen some other examples that have happened. I ain't bringing no mess to my house.
That's right.
But be honest though, Rodney. You ran to that room. You got that poop. You ran. You ain't walked by there.
I walked fast, but I kept moving. Keep it moving.
But true enough, though, our team at Wichita Falls was real mature. We had a couple loose cannons.
Yeah.
Loose cannon. Well, I ain't gonna mention his name, but a loose cannon. I know I came into my apartment as we came and traveling up, and as soon as I opened the door, there's my wife standing there. Who's this person that called you? I'm like, what you talking about? They said this lady called my house. I said, I don't know who she is, and this person had friends, and when he came back there, that friend from that town we came from was calling the team's house trying to find him.
Yeah.
And she called me one time and said, I don't know him, but she trying to get his number. So I don't know his number. I wasn't going to give his number out, but I was telling him and said, look, man, he said in the locker room, I said, look, y'all people calling my house. I said, y'all messing my house up.
Yes.
That happened too. That's the last time that happened too.
Yeah, so that was my thing. Like I had something, I ain't messing it up. It's easier, and guys getting,
Yeah.
And I guess everybody on there who's been playing, you've seen all around the people, the ladies hanging around and stuff like that. I went right on through, went in my room, got something to eat, went in my room.
Good for you.
Stayed in my room.
Good for you, Rodney. So the only other girl you dated was Sarah Palmer.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Oh man, what about you, TD?
I'm sure ain't no Rodney Blake. Listen, man, I didn't have a whole lot of vices, but women were one of them. As a 6-year-old in a single parent home, my mom worked 3 jobs to take care of her kids. And so we had, a lot of folk that had to look after us, babysitters. And, it's something that people only think happened to little girls. But at 6 years old, my babysitter daughter kind of played with me a little bit. And so, it might destroy somebody and they have some issues in relationships. it turned a light on me as to, hey, I wanted to be with females, and that was at a young age. And without having my father in the house being an example, I'm just flying off of, just adrenaline with women. So that's a start at an early age. I say that to say, when I came to college for family reasons. My brother, my sister, and my coach's son came on my ability to play ball. We were a package deal. We shopped around to see who would take all of us.
Right.
Yeah, 4 of us on my deal. My twin brother, my sister, and my coach's son. All right. And so that first year in school, me and my twin, the Twin Towers, until my brother met his ex-wife. And I treated her like dirt because you now taking my twin from me.
Right.
Until the second semester of my freshman year, I'm injured. I just broke my wrist against Memphis State guarding what's that, Bassanite or somebody like that. I broke my wrist, and so now I can't travel with my team. And so I go out to this nightclub because I told you I was clubbing. I went out to this nightclub with a cast on my wrist. I met my wife at that club. She don't hang out. She was older, about 3 years. She was already out of school. I met her. She was one of 6 women in that club, and I chose the one that was available. But anyway, we met. So that was 40 years ago, 40.
Whoa.
All right. I'm still having my career in college, right? It's still early. I'm a freshman. Okay. So I'm 19 years old, playing ball, being popular. My wife, she's my fiance, she's my girlfriend. I go and make Charlotte's team, as a rookie free agent. Make Charlotte just up the road. My wife is from Eastover, where we live now. We making a family. My baby girl is now. I lose my job in Charlotte right at a time where I'm just trying to settle in. You know how that thing is. There's somebody in my locker room before I even got there on Thanksgiving. It's like, God dog, man, y'all move fast. For 2 months, I didn't want to look at a basketball. Then I missed it, went to the CBA, right? Went to the CBA, got a couple of more shots at the NBA, and I saw how political it was. I went overseas. I went overseas at a time that my girlfriend at the time is pregnant with my first child. She's not going overseas to have a child. She stayed home. I went over to Australia, off the plane. As soon as I got off the plane, there they are. Them females running at you.
Down under. You're really down under.
I couldn't get away from it, But I'm a family person. I say all this to say, when my firstborn was born in 1991, to do the right thing, me and my wife got married November 30th of 1991.
Good for you.
Okay. You know why I did that? Because I always wanted the American dream. I hear this, y'all. The American dream was put on TV. 2-story house, 2-car garage, white picket fence, a pet, and 2.5 kids, right?
Right.
I got 3 kids, 2-story house, wasn't a white picket fence, but a picket fence, a pooch, 2-car garage. I got the American dream and that wife. Me and my wife will be celebrating 35 years married November 30th. Praise the Lord. That woman is a saint because she went through all my mess. You know what I mean? Hung in there. My twin brother is divorced because we had a generational curse of divorce in my family. And I said, as a saved man, God, I want to break the divorce curse in my family.
That's
it. And that's the only way I'm still married is because God honored my request to honor him in marriage. And that's not being perfect. The Bible said that we shall become one. She was my lover. She was my lust. Then she became my lover. Then she became the mother of my child. Then she became my wife. And it took maturity where I became a man that she became my best friend.
There you go. There you go.
It
I was
didn't
about to
start
say.
out that way. It ended up that way. So we shall become. And now I can tell you, ride or die. That's my woman. That was who was assigned. Maybe she was birthed for me. And I just had to come to the knowledge of Christ to recognize it. And so I say this, I'm an advocate for marriage. I am a promoter of family. I'm gonna be a defender of the sanctity of marriage because God said it was good. Man made it bad.
There you go.
And until we start lining up with God, we're gonna have our life full of trouble. Our children don't choose divorce. Divorce choose them. And it's not fair to most of us who are in the trenches with young people. Most times they're from divorced families and fatherless homes. So if we can defeat that monster, our whole community will heal. So that's my thing. I'm married because God said it was a good thing. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. And man, I found a great thing. God bless you.
They say. Okay. Look here. We gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna wrap this up. And I got one question, and I want all three of y'all to answer. Okay. If y'all can go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be? Who's gonna take that first?
I'll take it first. I'll take it first.
Okay.
I'll take it first. Don't depend on just being a good athlete. I was so athletic, I didn't care about weightlifting. I didn't care about stretching. I didn't care about what I ate. I didn't care about nothing. I just wanted to play. So I would be more disciplined as a youngster, because then as an older person, I'm not paying the price for being undisciplined. So it'd be more disciplined as a child because, again, I had my disruption. I had my ACEs. I don't know if you know what ACEs is, but it's adverse childhood experiences. I had my adverse childhood experiences, but that's not an excuse not to be disciplined in life. And so that's what I would go back. I would be more disciplined as an 18-year-old.
Okay. Next.
I think that Terry stole my thunder. That's right. The more discipline. How I would have. I definitely know now that if I had known now what I knew then, first of all, I would have been a different major in college, and I would have done things differently as far as how's my career work, because I think I did something that was a disservice to myself, or where I could have gone, or what I could have done, and it's. But I didn't have the discipline on how to do that until after I became professional. You know, so that's where it was the discipline. It's the same. It's the same discipline. Discipline for myself.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
You're muted, Mike.
Huh?
Mike, you're muted. Okay.
Thanks, CD. I'd have told my young self a lot of the same things, but the most important thing I would have told myself, knowing what I know now, is don't allow others to define your identity. Go back to the person that created you. I ain't talking about my mom. My parents, our parents, all of us come from some type of ACE. Whether it's childhood, whether it's a cultural event, we come from some type of trauma. God places each of these places strategically because if he could get our attention, he could use us to kind of help others. So I would have told myself, focus on who got you here and why. And don't make that bigger than your ability to keep moving forward and helping the people that you're moving with. That would have been it.
Okay. All right. Man, that sounds good, man. Bob, you got anything to say?
No, they said it all, man. I mean,
They said it all.
This has been a great show, man. We really thank everybody for being. I mean, I don't know, man, but y'all been dropping some daggone dimes, as the young people be saying, man.
None of us like to pass. Terry wasn't passing nobody. Rodney, if I gave it to him, he wouldn't.
My brother criticized me. My brother said he would score more at a pass. And I'm going to say something that Moses Malone said. They didn't pay me to pass. You know?
That's it. That's what he said.
No, that's Terry. They don't pay me to pass, so don't even look for it.
Wow.
Well, man, I want to thank y'all for coming by, man. Next week we're gonna have a show. I'll probably be here, but I have surgery, so therefore you're gonna have Bobby and Michael doing next week's show. And I'll be in surgery. I want to thank you guys. Rodney,
Happy early birthday, Big
my
Mike.
first time meeting you,
That's
my
why
man.
happy birthday, Mike.
When's your birthday, Mike?
Man,
When was your birthday?
No, it's coming up. It's Tuesday. Happy early
Tuesday.
birthday, Big
yeah, I'll be 26. I'll be 26 years old. 26.
Can I ask a question?
Hey, let me say this to you. I want to thank Mike for reminding me, because we had talked ahead of time. He told me about getting on here. We've just moved house. I've been kind of juggling a camp and moving house and being retired and going back. But Mike, man, way to be that assist man, because honestly, I would have had some remorse missing this opportunity to get on here. Again, Mike, you were one of those guys. I must say this: you were one of those guys that captured my attention, because y'all don't know this, but Georgetown was just up the street from us. And so there were times where Coach Thompson would bring, because he had a great relationship with my coach, he would bring Georgetown to our gym to practice, and our gym. And so Georgetown was our school. That was our school. That was our people. And the only reason I didn't go there, the only reason I didn't come, is because y'all already had Dunbar players. Who I done already had to follow Reggie Williams to Dunbar, and he left big shoes to fill. Even though we won a national championship, they still brag on how they were the best team ever. Then you had David Wingate and Mike and Russ up there, and I was like, I ain't following them up there, because then I'm just another person in the video. So we went to small old South Carolina trying to be a big fish in a small pond. But Mike, man, you
did wonders down here, man. Because let me tell you something. When I first moved down South Carolina, I didn't even know that I had relatives there. And I as soon as I got off the plane, I was there to see a girl that was at Fort Jackson. Right. Didn't know I had relatives. Seen this guy that was doing the camp. Decided to do the camp for him, and he put me up hotel, got me a car, rent a car, and everything. And then I ran into the brothers and wound up hanging out and staying with them. And man, you talking about some players. You walk in the gym, they used to have old Booker T open. You see Stanley Roberts, Xavier McDaniels, Alex. You see ain't nothing but NBA players walk up in there. Y'all just don't know. Columbia, South Carolina is the bed for players.
Yeah. It's laid back, but they got incredible athletes here. Most of them will play football, but they got incredible athletes. And when they break through, because South Carolina's not looked at as a basketball thing, when they break through, they usually make other schools outside of South Carolina champions, or relevant. But I say this to make the point. Mike, you were that force, man. You were the enforcer for the Georgetown Misty, and when you had that stare and that glare, and you had that bald head, and you would dunk on folk, and you run down there like you was a beast, I was like, that's my hero right there. That's my dude, man. You were the guy, man. And then when I finally met you, you couldn't tell. But I was like starstruck. I was like, that's Michael Graham. He's right there. And so I ain't never told you that, man. But you were one of those dudes that when I met you in person, I was like, man, he's just like anybody else. He's fun, he's cool, and everything like that. But when you got on that court, you were a transformer, dude. You had a whole different kind of persona. So I say to be on your show, that's why I would say, Bobby, to be on here with Rodney. Rodney, man, I know we never really crossed paths, but I know about you. But Michael, you made it possible for me to be part of something that just keep it 100 with each other. And they don't talk about our era too much. They don't talk about that era.
That's why I do this.
It's a special era.
That's why I do this.
It was a special. And till this day, I would trade it for nothing in the world.
Me either.
So thank y'all for allowing me to be part of this.
Not a problem, man.
Can I just say one thing real quick? And I think Terry has really answered my question. Because when I came on, it's a Michael Graham, and they didn't click. I heard the name. And I said, I said, Georgetown Michael Graham? And absolutely. because we played against each other when you were at Rochester.
Okay.
And I was with the sorry West Virginia Gunners at that time.
Oh no, that's where I got traded to. I was traded to Coach when you was there.
Tex Winter.
Oh no, that was somebody else.
You talking about Chicago Bulls?
But you played with Mike Richmond.
Yeah, Mike Richmond.
That left hand dunking on people. Yeah,
that was my man. That was my man.
Is that Tex Winters for Chicago Bulls? Tex Winters?
No, I'm sorry. Tex. I'm sorry, Tex Winters. No, you're right. I'm glad you correct that because I said his name wrong. His first name was Tex, and I can't remember his last name. Tex Winters is the one.
I was going to say, I didn't know he was.
Was Archie Cowley still there?
I'm sorry?
Archie Cowley.
Yeah, he was assistant coach when I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was assistant when I was there. Yeah.
What was the name of the coach? And that could be the same guy then.
The name of the head coach was Gerald Oliver.
No, that wasn't him. It was Chuck something because he was a coach down there for West Virginia Division III something. Local.
Oh, okay. That must have been. Yeah, that must have been afterwards. I think that's when I probably got back into the CBA.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's a pleasure, Mike. Because I said Michael Graham, and then but Terry answered the question for me. As soon as you said Georgetown, I said that's the Michael Graham that I remember.
Dude, I look back. I go back and look at the time that he was there, and you had Patrick Ewing being the star, right? They had a star-studded team, but the dude that stood out was this dude that just dunked and glared at you and ran down there like a bull, played defense. He was that dude that intimidated folk, you know. And I was like, man, that dude played. Cause I'm from Baltimore, man. We used to say you got to be more careful coming from Baltimore. He up there in DC playing like a beast. I said, that's the dude right there. You can talk about Pat all you want, but he the one that make or break him. And you were the man that brought about the championship, dog. I don't care what anybody say.
That's right.
Thanks, the sad thing about it, he got off to that. He got off to jumping people.
I can go all day with you, Mike, man. I'm telling you, man, because you taught not to idolize nobody. I don't idolize nobody. But when I met you for the first time, I said, there he is. That's him.
Yeah, I didn't know that because let me tell you something. Y'all took care of me, man. Everything. I mean, I didn't want for nothing, man. And I didn't even know anybody down there. I just come across I forgot the guy's name. Marcus somebody.
Marcus Reese.
Marcus Reese. That was his name.
He played for the Washington Bullets at the time. He played a little time with them. And Marcus Reese, dude down here driving buses for the school district, man. Still work with kids with camps and stuff. Still help kids find school. He was the one that got me into doing the camps over there. And again, I knew you guys connected. And again, all we were doing is what was always done. Look out for each other. That's all it's ever been. They ain't never changed.
Right.
Well, God bless everybody, man.
Bobby, and it was Tex Williams.
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 And in West Virginia.
Right. And Mike, last thing, you played with a guy, Tony Costner. So Tony was on that team. And Brian,
you
remember
they probably changed our team because we couldn't even catch a cold. Yeah, we had guys. That guy Miller from Virginia, a guy by the name of Andre Patterson.
Andre Patterson, forever.
Billy Ray Bates. We couldn't even catch a cold.
So in September, you all, they have a new Washington Metropolitan Hall of Fame, and they do it at Congressional Golf Course, Mike Morrison. And this year going in is Archie Talley, Hawkeye Whitney. You all know Hawkeye Whitney from North Carolina State, DeMatha. Monty Williams, the coach, Monty Williams. JoJo Hunter from Maryland. Drafted by Milwaukee, and somebody else who's known to them.
So that's a lot of guys.
Carlos Jones. Actually, he came out of St. John's High School in D.C., played at Notre Dame.
Yeah. And the big boy who coached at played at Notre Dame and coached San Antonio. What's his name?
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams.
Monty.
Yeah, but Carlos Jones actually played on the team, the Notre Dame team that beat Kareem and them too, right?
So he was on that team.
to stop that team. And he also played for the Dallas Chaparral in the ABA. So those guys are going in. Mike, I want to talk to you about going to that too, by the way. It's September the 27th, I think. I'll get with you on that.
Okay.
But anyway, thanks, everybody. God bless you all, man. And look, I mean, people don't know. People don't know. But we know. Every one of y'all being alive today, just being alive. And y'all know, this really scared me, man. My friend, and I'll end on this, he used to say to me, hey, Bob, when you were over there overseas, man, by yourself, you didn't worry about something happened to you and nobody be there. And I said, you know what? I never thought of that. And the main reason I thought it, because I always felt I was driven by the Almighty Lord, you know, and our Savior, you know, so that. But he made the hairs raise up. So I'm just saying, man, y'all, every one of y'all, it's a blessing that y'all alive. Don't take it for granted. I know a bunch of y'all could have been dead about 2 or 3 times. So appreciate y'all, man. All serious.
And don't be surprised if I call y'all back, because y'all coming back.
We do that.
Y'all coming back. You see, I do this show to get the guys together. You know, I say older guys, but I'm gonna tell you something. These kids nowadays, man, trying to fix this wheel that's not broke. You know what I'm saying? They got to know, and y'all, you know, if it wasn't for y'all, they wouldn't be where they are. And they need to know this, man. They need to know this. Yes. You know, some kid somewhere is watching this, because I get a lot of people and I got a lot of groups, especially related to basketball. So that's very important that I bring guys like us back, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's important, man. People got to know.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next time, man. Y'all be blessed. Continue to serve faithfully, and God get the glory. All right.
Yeah. And Mike, we need to get. Like I said, I will be here, but I'll be backstage next week. Okay. So we probably got to get some more people for you and Bobby, so I can just get some confirmation, so I can go ahead and make up the advertisement and everything.
And I want to leave on this. I want to leave on this quote, you all.
Uh-huh.
And I think this might sum it all up for you. It says, "Forgive yourself for not knowing earlier what only time could teach."
It's a great quote. It's a great quote. Love that one.
Thank y'all. Y'all take it easy, man.
Y'all, man.
Peace.
All right.
Bless
you. All right, Rodney Blake. Nice meeting you, man.
You all too, Mike, and everything. We'll be in touch, hopefully. So I enjoyed myself.
Most definitely.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Michael Graham Show. Big thanks to our guests, and bigger thanks to you for listening. If it hit home, share it. If it made you think, talk about it. Because change starts with conversation. Catch Michael next time. Same truth, same energy, same mission. Till then, stay loud, stay real, and stay connected.